Okay, let's talk about the Pacers. Great timing on this episode right now. 40 minutes in, 4 segments in. Let's talk about the Indiana Pacers. We're previewing a very pivotal weekend. Today is Wednesday. It's 12:20 p.m. on Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. The Pacers have a game tonight. They play the Bulls. Likely, if you're watching this episode, you most likely are watching it after that game has happened. So I don't know what's happened in that game. I'm sure it was just like the Nets game, a routine victory for the Pacers. But they have two much bigger games on the way this weekend. It's 3 games of upscaling difficulty. They play Chicago first at home. They're 10th in the East. Golden State is next. They're 8th in the West at last check. And Cleveland, of course, resoundingly is first in the East by 5.5 games over the Celtics. So let's just say theoretically, if the Pacers were to pick up 3 wins, they'd be 22-18. They'd be safely above 500, likely sitting at the 5 seed, because I doubt the Bucks would be able to have that same level of success if the Pacers were to in the next week. They'll have proven they can beat anybody in the East, and that is significant because the Pacers already have wins. I believe at MSG against the Knicks, at the Boston Celtics, they have wins over the Magic. That's number 2, 3, and 4 in the East right now, right? The Bucks they haven't beat yet, but the Bucks are division opponent. They have 2 more opportunities. It's certainly feasible that the Pacers could be able to win a game against the Bucks. But regardless, they've already proven they can beat most teams in the East. They're at least capable of picking off a game against every single one of those teams. The question is, can they do it against the Cavs, right? And that's the real pivot point here, because they play the Cavs on Sunday and again on Tuesday. We're going to have a whole episode entirely on that first Cavs game and previewing the second one, or a whole segment rather, next episode on Tuesday. So the Pacers right now are in a situation where they can really accelerate and put themselves at the 5 seed and mount this winning streak into true tangible success in the standings. But the real thing that's important to me is that one-off game against Cleveland. Can they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers? Are they capable of winning a game against a team that's 31-4 right now? They'll have 2 chances to do it. The best one is the second one, but the first game on the road against the Cavaliers, of course, is occurring on Sunday. Let's talk about the Bulls first, right? Bulls, division rival, technically. They're 17-19. They're 10th in the East. A fringe play-in team. I bet they'll be the 9 or 10 seed. They'll be in that lower bracket play-in game when we get to that point later on in the year. The Bulls are coming off some home wins over the Knicks and the Spurs, which are 2 teams that will definitely as well at least be in play-in range, if not in the official NBA playoffs. The Knicks will be. We're not worried about that. But the Bulls haven't won a road game in regulation since December 19th, when they ironically beat the Celtics. They're capable of picking off strong teams, right? The Bulls have some big wins over some big-time teams, some title contenders here and there. So do the Pacers. So does, it feels like, most teams in the NBA. It's very obviously the Cavaliers have 4 losses. Someone would have had to have beaten them, right? But the Pacers at home have got to hold off a streaking team like the Bulls, right? Again, wins over the Knicks and the Spurs, but they haven't won a road game since December 19th. They go on the road to Gainbridge. The Pacers are streaking as well. The Pacers are winning as well. We'll see if the Bulls are able to pull it off. I don't think they will, but that's an opportunity for the Pacers to prove me wrong. So I hope that ends up being a victory leading into the game on Friday, which will be broadcast on WTHR, which is fantastic. We got that 5-game deal. The Warriors game is the first one. Free on the airwaves. You can just watch the Pacers on WTHR, which is a great, great thing. This is a rematch from a couple weeks ago. It was a solid road win for the Pacers. The Warriors played the Heat last night and lost convincingly. Heat coming off of an overtime loss to the Kings. So the Warriors play Detroit tonight, but they lost to the Heat the night before. So we'll see how that Detroit game goes leading up to this one. They've won 2 out of 3, but they were blown out at home by Sacramento. So recently at home, they've gotten blown away by the Kings. They lost convincingly to the Heat, and they play the Pistons tonight. That's what they have coming up on the Pacers. Last time Miles Turner hit a late 3 to win it. It took a late 3 to win it. They ended up winning by 6. Steph Curry was cold in that game. Kuminga went off for 26. The differences between that game and this one is the fact that this game's at home for the Pacers. Curry has had knee trouble, but he dropped 26 on the Kings, right? So Steph Curry has been working his way back into his groove. He missed the game against the Grizzlies, a victory for the Warriors because of some knee problems. They were just it was a back-to-back. They were just giving him some load management, letting him rest that game. So Curry, he's had some knee trouble. He struggled the last time against the Pacers. Andrew Nembhard is back. He's going to be a great defensive piece for the Pacers. This is an opportunity for another big-time home win, and the Pacers have struggled at home in the last few weeks. They, of course, picked up a couple big wins this past weekend. We saw the Suns win in particular. Curry, we don't know how well Steph Curry is going to play. We don't know how healthy he's going to be. Andrew Nembhard is back regardless, so hopefully that has a positive impact for the Pacers. It's an opportunity for the Pacers to pick off another probably playoff team or at least play-in team in the Warriors and accelerate themselves in the schedule. And if they pick up those two wins, if the Pacers beat the Bulls and beat the Warriors, I almost don't care what happens against the Cavaliers because that's a team that's 31-4 on the road. They're first in the East by 5.5 games over the Celtics. We talked about how difficult it would be to beat the Celtics. Pacers split the games this past weekend. They've won the series on the season against the Celtics 2-1. However, the Cavaliers are 5.5 games ahead of them right now. So this is another level of play. The Cavaliers and the Thunder are playing another level of basketball. I'm interested to see how the Pacers contend with this team when they'll have two opportunities effectively back-to-back to make it happen. Again, 31-14, first in the East by 5.5 games. They're a division rival, but one much improved from last year. The Pacers beat the Cavaliers to start off the in-season tournament last year. Totally different Cavs team. Again, best team in the league right now, best record in the league. They'll play again at Gainbridge on Tuesday and then twice more in the middle of March. So these are the only two real litmus tests they're going to have against the best team in the NBA. Back-to-back Sunday and Tuesday. It's a pivotal stretch for the Pacers, and I'm very interested to see how both those games go. You get a look at them on the road, and then you get to try your hand against them at home in Gainbridge. Division rival, but again, great team in the Cavaliers. They're on a 10-game win streak right now. They score an incredible amount of points. It was going to have to be a shootout if the Pacers can win, especially on the road. Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, they may all need 20-plus in order to contend with the Cavaliers. That's a tall task, but they have two shots to get this game won. Again, on the road on Sunday and at home on Tuesday. If they can go 3-1 in this stretch, if they can beat the Bulls, beat the Warriors, and win one of those games against Cleveland, I would feel elated, absolutely fantastic about the state of the Indiana Pacers at this time. The Cavaliers, though, again, 31-4, 10-game win streak. They score over 100 almost every game. It feels like it's going to be a difficult spot for the Pacers to win. What I want to point out as well is the Bucks' upcoming schedule, because this weekend they play the Spurs, the Magic, and the Knicks. That's three playoff teams at the moment. That's a prime opportunity for the Pacers to pick up some wins against the Bulls, the Warriors, maybe one against the Cavaliers, and overtake the Bucks for the number 5 slot right now, despite the fact that the Bucks have a tiebreaker and are leading that season series by 2 games. Great opportunity for the Pacers, right? The Bulls win should just be a routine home victory. The Warriors win should be a slightly routine but also very important victory. And then they get 2 cracks at the Cavaliers. Very good Cavaliers team, better than any other team in the NBA right now, at least according to record. Pacers are going to have to do a lot to make sure that happens. They're going to have to score a lot to win that game. I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to make that happen for themselves.